Hello, hello, welcome in. We're in to the next round here. We have, what is it, Wang's Revenge versus BlackRock.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I got their name right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And both these teams 1-0, so we're following the upper bracket for now. And this is a ban I was expecting a little bit more of from Wang's Revenge. The Rengar. Rengar's been really, really strong right now, I think. And I'm excited to see him get attention and get banned, actually.
Yeah, like I said, I'm still surprised at the Nocturne, just because I've seen so many players, so many junglers complain about him. I know a lot of people are talking about brand jungle. You know, you've seen it over in the LCK played, and it is pretty powerful in certain hands. But the Nocturne is the one I've heard a lot of people complain about and say that thing is just not fun to play against because the experimental hexblade is so strong. But also not fun to play against is that Udyr that got banned away by BlackRock. Not wanting to deal with that in the top lane, which honestly is understandable.
Yeah, and really quick drafting coming through with Varus picked up right into the Azir Lucian. I think Azir is just such a strong champion in the mid lane right now.
Yes.
So safe. It's so blindable. You just toss it in there and you say, hey, I'm good at Azir. Let me play Azir.
Yep, and that's why you've also seen that Corki has come back into the meta, because it's one of the few champions that's like, okay, I'm cool with dealing with them, because all I really want to do is farm up until late game anyways.
Yeah, and especially, wow, never mind. The answer is Akali, at least for now, could be going to that top lane. You can flex it around, but that puts a little bit more spice on things because Akali at level 6 can really pressure Azir. You've got so many dashes to sort of play around that Emperor's Divide. Azir has the dash to get out, but Akali can potentially follow. You have a lot of outplay potential here with Akali, and I really like to see this come through from Wizard.
Me too. I want to see how Debounair is going to be on that Akali, if it is going to be for Debounair and not for BoilTheOil. But there's that Nocturne that I was talking about. That's the thing that everyone's been complaining about, and Wang's Revenge will take that into the jungle, and I just want to see if the Maokai is going to kind of be that answer for BlackRock here, as that has kind of been typically what a lot of people have gone to, even if it's not very exciting, but it's safe.
And I think, especially with experimental hexblade, I think just tunneler items in general on Nocturne are very good. There's also the option of still going Stridebreaker, I believe. So there's multiple different options you can go on Nocturne that are incredibly strong. Eclipse got the lethality taken out, but now just has a bunch more AD on it.
Yep.
So it's very good. It's going to be very interesting in that on that front as well.
But as we get into the second part of the bans, Nautilus going to be the first ban there into the spot lane, which does surprise me a little, just because we have seen so many of the range supports really taking over, especially as you got the Lucian Melio in that bot lane. Very powerful duo that has really risen as the priority. It is going to be against that Varus that is also, I talked about before, the trifecta is really Ashe, Varus, and Lucian right now as your ADCs, and Ashe is back as an ADC. I didn't mention that before. Not really seen as much in the supportive role. But I want to see, the Rakan actually going to be banned. So it looks like BlackRock just want to take away anything that can follow up both the Akali and Nocturne.
Yeah, I think that's the major factor of these bans here. Despite Melio being quite good into Rakan specifically, you can just sort of stuff that engage if you have the super fireball mega. I don't even know what it's called.
I just call it the soccer ball, to be honest. It's,
the soccer ball. You can just kick Rakan in the face with a soccer ball, and you sort of squash that engage there. But I still think it's a good ban, especially just because you've got this Varus who can sort of go for these weirder builds. I mean, Radiant Virtue was a huge build before the preseason changes, but even then, you can go for like a 4th item Jack Show and still be perfectly fine, still deal as much damage as you would normally. Varus is one of those AD carries where you'll do damage regardless of your build, as long as you build a couple of damage items.
Yeah, usually right now that Youmuu's first item for Varus, but this is something that I was worried about when I saw these bans focusing on certain roles, the jungle for Wang's Revenge, and then support for BlackRock, K'Sante. Left open, incredibly strong, something that is always safe to pick, regardless of what your own comp wants to do. He can kind of find a way to fit into everything.
Yeah, because K'Sante has 4,700 HP, 329 armor, 201 MR, unstoppable, a shield, can go over walls, has airborne, cooldown was only 1 second too, and guess what? It only costs 15 mana.
Oh, I love that pick from BlackRock. That Poppy final pick. Top lane Poppy. That actually is insane here. into what Wang's Revenge have drafted for themselves with the Akali, the Nocturne, the K'Sante, even the Thresh.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to stop K'Sante from going over walls and having airborne and stuff, you just press W. You stuff him in his face as well. So I really like that sort of counterpick agency that BlackRock has pulled through. Let me just check one thing really quick on roster sheets. BlackRock. Oh, I thought that was the team that had their coach as Topo, and I was gonna say, yeah, Topo would pull out the Poppy, but it is
Topo is the man, their coach. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Topo is their coach.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes sense because Decoy Topo's like, yo, this is a Poppy ankle right here. This is exactly what you're looking for.
I know Topopotamus. I know Topo.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, oh, I didn't see the coaches on this specifically, but
I got it. Yeah. All right, I'm excited about this one, but we're going to cut it here. We're going to get ready for this second round here between Wang's Revenge and BlackRock. We'll see you in just a bit. Hello, welcome in. We've got our next game here. We're in round 2. Wang's Revenge versus BlackRock Esports. Both teams 1-0. Looking to move forward in the bracket. We'll see us right now. Whoa, I like this. I like this angle so far.
Yeah, I mean, look who's leading the charge there. Ass Blaster 79.
Oh, the blind hook! InoriB had no idea! Ass Blaster blasting that ass!
Oh my goodness. We were going to make a comment about it eventually, but hey, if you land a hook like that 40 seconds into the game, you're going to get the zinger there.
You have to. You have to.
InoriB just pings his ping right away.
It was blind! Hold on. I'm actually going to rewind. We're rewinding this. And we're rewinding this, and we're going to toggle. How do we? Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. We're so watching this back. This is amazing. Just walked into the pixel brush. No clue. Literally just blind.
Oh
absolute mad lad.
Kitzuo's too busy typing. He can't even help his homie out. He's like, oh, I'm on the other side of the map. Granted, what we will see is Kitzuo will drop down a ward at the very least to get a little bit of information, but great opener there for Wang's Revenge.
Wang's Revenge, yes. Wang's Revenge, and that was Kurulean. That is their actual name. Not just, it's not Ass Blaster, even though that's the name of the account. But man, I can't believe that. I can't. I'll be honest. If I'm InoriB too, I'm totally DCing from that game. I'm so. Oh yeah, internet issues. We got a remake, guys. I've got a remake. You know.
Yeah, get the TOs involved. Yeah, you hit me. It's cheating. Check him PC.
God, that was
aside, though.
Wild.
Great opener.
Great opener. All right, well now we gotta fill a pause in for who knows how long.
Yeah, this is the best part about these types of tournaments as well. We don't know how long the pause is going to be.
Not at all.
We don't get it in our ears. They're not like, yeah, they're actually reconnecting right now. T-2 minutes. Nope. We get to guess.
Mm-hmm. And if it's really long, we'll cut from right here. And if it's not that long, we'll just keep talking. So
exactly.
I'll pull up the chair. I'm gonna pull the chair back over. So there we go, just in case. Because who knows? They did actually say in the chat internet issues for InoriB. So
yeah, great. We saw him ping his ping.
Yeah, exactly. It was.
Yeah, we don't want to play any competitive league on 200 ping. I don't think anyone would like that, but
no, not at all.
He's what it is.
There he's back. Okay, there he is. Let me check the. Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, see, pretty high.
They'll probably resume soon.
Yeah,
I would hope.
I should hide that down there. Hide the chat away.
We do not want to see what the gamers are gaming.
No.
What they are saying.
I just cannot believe that blind hook. That was so good.
Yeah. Blasted him so hard he had to reconnect.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those ones, too, that if it misses, you're like, oh, okay, good info. But when it lands, you're like, I knew.
Yeah. Support diff. You just type that in chat right away.
Mm-hmm.
Something that's fun is that it's InoriB versus Ass Blaster.
I know,
the
right?
debate of all time.
All right, that was a good one. It's the
Now you can't cut out this pause. Now you have to leave
now
it
I
in.
have to. Now I have to. This is amazing.
I mean, Wang's revenge of note.
Mhm.
When I was talking to Yanni after he did all the seedings and everything, he said he was really high on Wang's revenge. He said, hey, they could potentially upset some of these teams that are higher seeded above them. And I think that looking at this roster as well, it looks strong. There's names that you can recognize. BoilTheOil, Rapid. You know, Kurulean has been in the scene for a long time as well.
Debounair, I know Debounair.
Yeah, we've seen Debounair before as well. Double check on.
I believe it was at the EG Combine.
Might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, might have been. There's so many combines at this point that trying to keep up with them sometimes.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know. Especially this past offseason, there is so many.
Yeah, Deathwalker 222 is just Deathwalker 222. So they, you know what? If this is their debut, they've won a game already. Let's see if they can do it again. But looking at now, we get more time to look at the draft and stuff too. Maybe we might cut this part of the pause out. Who knows?
Yeah, and that's like we'll see.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to talk about, and I'm like, these drafts are like as standard as you can get, except for the Poppy, and we talked about the
Well,
Poppy.
and the Poppy, I think I honestly do like that Poppy for decoy because it's like it's not standard-ish, but it's so good into this draft. Oh my goodness.
There's 4 dashes.
Right. It's wild. It's wild how good it is.
Yeah, and Akali has like 3 of them, so you can just it's 7 dashes. You press W in a team fight, and you're blocking at least 2 of them. And even though Nocturne ult it gets a little weird with that, it is still good because you could just chase down Nocturne after.
Yeah, well, it will block Nocturne ult if Nocturne didn't spell shield before.
Yeah,
which is kind of weird.
Most Nocturnes are spell shielding before.
Exactly. Almost all of them are. I've had it once where I was playing against the Nocturne that didn't. Oh yes, the post game unpause.
The pause after the pause.
Yeah, the pause after the pause. For anyone who doesn't know, there's always a pause after the pause. That happens because the client likes to pause.
Yeah, I think it's also so that it can confirm that it's a 3-minute delay.
Yes, exactly. It's kind of like it's the system double checking itself.
Yeah, it's a failsafe, and honestly, if they took it out, if they took this failsafe out, I would miss the pause after the pause.
But what about the pause after the pause after the pause?
Oh, that's rare.
Yeah,
that's very rare.
Yeah, but then see now we have to have that because then that confirms the confirmation, right? And then when are you stopping? When are you actually playing, right?
Never.
Yeah,
you just don't play League of Legends. You just queue up TFT while you're in your pause.
That's what
you do.
Isn't everyone winning at that point?
Yeah, basically. You have to play TFT while you're in game in League.
It's like, as long as you don't play League, you can't lose if you think about it.
Yeah, these teams could be in a never-ending cycle of being 1-0. That way they would never lose, and they would never move on in Swiss, and then no one else could play, because you got to wait for the entire bracket.
Hold it all hostage. All right, I like it. But here we go. As we get back onto the rift. The one thing with getting that early kill for Wang's Revenge is that it's not going to stop InoriB and Pockus from getting back into lane and doing what the Lucian Melio lane's going to do, which is dominate this lane, get control, keep you at bay, because you only got so much, right? You can only buy so many things with that. Like, Debounair going to be the one that really benefits from that, because he comes into lane with an extra amp tome, but nobody else really gets any additional stuff.
Yeah. And amp tomes are 400 credits? Or 400 credits. Oh my goodness. I'm
400
so
credits. Oh my goodness. What is this? Who are you? Who are these people?
400 gold. Who is it? It was one of the new guys they added. It was like, yeah, I'm going to make Amptome 400 gold. And they did that. So now you just get to go to lane with an Amptome. Instead, it would have been a Dark Seal plus a health potion, which, end of the day, is still sort of the same deal if Debounair is able to get fed. But hey, it feels nice to be able to go back with a component that builds into something relevant later.
See, the only reason I know that that blind hook was not actually like planned is the fact that Debounair did not start with the Dark Seal. Had Debounair started with the Dark Seal, I would have had more confidence that Wang's Revenge fully knew, and that was like a calculated decision, and not just luck.
Yeah. And who knows, because all these teams do warm-up scrims. What if the warm-up scrim was just Wang's Revenge versus BlackRock and they weren't expecting to be playing each other in round 2? What if it was calculated that InoriB was going to be in that bush, has sat there every single game or something.
No, because like I said, the Dark Seal would have been there for Debounair.
Yeah.
That's how I know. That's how I know. As a Kitzuo, though, the fear is there. They already got tagged with the shuriken flip. Flash over the wall. Kitzuo perfectly played as Pockus had to flash away as well. Got a little bit too far up trying to defend the jungler. So 2 flashes had to get blown out of BlackRock.
Yeah, 2 flashes on both sides, actually. And the real winner of this is more so RobbyBob and then Deathwalker Asblaster on the opposite side, because I'm going to have to just go with Curly. I can't take Asblaster seriously. Nonetheless, it's the fact that now RobbyBob has flash advantage in the mid lane, and he literally didn't do anything. He just stayed in lane and farmed. Maybe dropped a pain.
And as you should as a Zero, honestly. Just, you're a Zero into a Kali. You see a Kali leave lane, you go, I get a free push. I don't have to fight. I just get him, keep her underneath the turret. Now, anytime she shows up to try to clear, chunk, chunk, chunk.
And Robbie's the caliber of mid laner where they can take these minute advantages and really push that forward. What that means is Robbie should have a little bit of an XP advantage as well. If that means that they win a 1v1 right at level 6 when Debounair is still level 5, so be it. That's going to be what you need to sort of differentiate between these 2 teams. The major thing I noticed about the seeding was that the top 16 teams were very much separated from the bottom 16 teams in terms of average rankings. It was like even rank 16 was like 14 point something, and then you got to 17 and it was like average seed of 18 point something. So there was a big difference. Pretty big divide. Yeah, so your 1-0 games are going to be a lot closer than you expect. Granted, there was a lot of upsets. That's why we get this map.
There are a lot.
The biggest one, Abandoned Kittens.
That was like I want to say there's Abandoned Kittens, and I think Sleepy Collar's also losing too. 2 big upsets there that definitely have shocked everybody. But these 2 teams are fairly close when it comes to their standings and where it comes to their seedings. So honestly, this could go either way. As right now, it is going to be BlackRock getting themselves the first 3 grubs completely uncontested. We're not actually seeing that Wang's Revenge or even getting anything else on the map. They're trying to make this play into the bot lane. You can see a lot of the pings there into the bot lane as they're ready to set up this dive. They pull in rapid, but it's still a difficult dive to continue unless you had the level 6s there, especially for someone like that Varus, because the Varus, even if he wants to get some of the poke, like they landed that hook onto InoriB, but they had already called off the play.
Yeah, it was sort of just a nice hook. Really no risk for InoriB at that point, and both sums are still available in the Lucian. I mean, didn't opt to burn them at the level 1 play. Granted, they would have been back up by now, but it just feels a little bit ambitious to be going for a play on that bottom side of the map, especially when Rapid isn't level 6. You don't have that sort of extra damage that you're expecting out of the Nocturne, and didn't actually opt for the Dragon either. We'll just continue to farm for that level 6. I want to see where the play gets made there, because Pockus still doesn't have flash for another couple of minutes here, and that's where you potentially want to try and regank.
Right.
That was the free gift that was sort of answered back from RobbyBob getting a free flash advantage over Debounair, was that Pockus flashed on the opposite side.
And for those that don't know RobbyBob, RobbyBob is the 2-time champion of CLOL, playing for UST, getting the wins 2 times in a row. Very outstanding mid laner here for the team of BlackRock Esports. And playing with Kitzuo is someone that he's gotten a lot of practice with as well. So this team, there is a lot that they know how to find these wins. They know how to put pressure and make those little advantages so much larger, as you were talking about with RobbyBob getting the experience leads here against Debounair.
Yeah, and I mean, last year, Belief played in NACL and Supernova, right?
Yes.
Yeah, did play on Supernova. So has the experience of playing at the tier 2 level here, as well as playing in collegiate, playing with a lot of those very talented players. Of course, this year gets to play with Kenvi, another NACL jungler. So there's so much to be gained from RobbyBob's experience in the scene. And if they're able to push this advantage, which they'll have for another prediction, 40 seconds on that flash, we'll have to find out if potentially RobbyBob can take advantage of that. Granted, the advantage was already gained by being able to move up to those Void Grubs and preventing Debounair from answering.
Now, who were you saying was the 40 seconds? Rapid or Pockus?
Debounair.
Debounair? Oh, okay. Just making sure. Ooh, Flay there from kurulean, even pulling in the Lantern, but Deathwalker is going to be the one walking death, as InoriB was able to get the kill, but now he has to escape somehow. Pockus on the other side. As you can see, the kurulean flashing forward for the Flay, getting that damage out of Rapid. Pockus now realizing there's no play. They already got the 1. It's a 1-for-1 trade after a long exchange.
well played to be able to give that kill over to Rapid. Granted, still level 5, didn't quite have the level 6 to potentially turn that fight around a little bit quicker. Could have potentially saved kurulean's flash at the very least, but well played to go to the bottom side of the map. InoriB outplaying the sort of play at that point with the Ignite on the Lucian, which we've seen a lot of. I think big proponent of that is... Oh my, am I going to forget the LPL? What's his name? Oh, who's JDG's ADC again?
JDG's Ruler.
Ruler, yeah, that's what it. Oh my goodness. now I'm blanking on like pro players. What's going on? Yeah, Ruler always went Ignite on Lucian. And it's good.
Well,
Honestly,
especially
Lucian
because
wants skill.
Lucian wants skill. Lucian wants to dominate the lane. And having Brutalizer back in the game too, also kind of leading into that, making it so that you do have that power. And NoriBob seems to be much more in the vein that we were talking about before, with the Voltaic Cyclo sword here for the Lucian, getting that as the first item.
Yeah, granted, not in the vein of the Lucian right now, but...
True. Ooh, Flay. Oh, no. That's going to be the paranoia. Getting a lot of damage on NoriBob, and with no flash, no ignite, no life for you.
Yeah, unfortunately, you burned your sums to chase down a kill into Deathwalker, and now you're getting punished for it. Sort of got caught napping there a little bit as well, just sort of sitting in that same bush. And
I think it's also a little bit of disrespect. A little bit of disrespect out of NoriBob. He saw kurulean walk up, Ass Blaster, and it's like, I can probably burst you down quickly enough because I am Lucian, but it's a Nocturne on the other side. He's going to flip off the lights and make it really easy for you to go night-night.
Yeah, granted, trade on the opposite side is the Grubs once again. And thus far, in our experiences, 1 out of 1 games, if you get all the Grubs, you win the game.
Yeah, that's all 6 Grubs, I believe, have been picked up by BlackRock Esports as well. So getting all of the Grubs going to really make it easy for BlackRock as long as they can start getting these leads as we look into the top lane. Debounair with a beautiful roam there on a decoy, who just was not ready for the play.
Yeah, and I want to shout out BoilTheOil there. Actually use the ultimate to cancel out Decoy's ult.
Yes.
Just great timing on it to, right as the cast times started showing up, to make sure that they didn't get knocked back and that it was a 2v1 at the end of it. Decoy saying, not worth my flash, just going to have to eat this one.
The only problem is the fact that making these plays will now be devastating for Wang's Revenge unless they get a lot for them. Like that hook landing there on NoriBob, because that could turn things around and make it a lot easier, because now you don't have to deal with the 2v2 push, taking down those plates. You get more gold for Deathwalker and force out Pockus.
Yeah, and I think at this point, this bot lane is all in kurulean's hands. 004 has been landing all the hooks necessary. Great picks onto NoriBob multiple times, and despite having the Voltaic Cyclo Sword already, Deathwalker should have enough gold to pick up that Bork alongside potentially Boots. Not 100% sure what they're... Oh, there it is. Won't be able to get the Boots yet, so still a little bit of an item advantage for NoriBob. Granted, Voltaic Cyclo Sword is a little cheaper, but this will be sort of the on-hit Varus that we saw at the end of the season, and that makes me believe maybe if we get to 3-4 items, we're going to see like the Jack show up.
I am a little surprised by that, though. Just we've seen so much of the Yomus be the first item for so many Varuses here that I was expecting that. We have seen that you can still go for the on-hit. I'm not saying that it's out of the realm of possibility, nor is it that bad. It's just been so much on going for the poke Varus to utilize the damage you can get from range, so you have your assassins, your Nocturne, your Akali, who see those low health targets after you've whittled them down, and they can dive in and easily execute these kills.
And I think as this game pushes forward...
Did you see that bait in the bot lane? It is kurulean setting up Rapid, and they got the TP on the other side, and guess who the target is? It's NoriBob. 1 and 4 so far. He barely survives, but Pockus, he too will get out of there as RobbyBob was able to skirt danger, not landing the chain of corruptions. Debounair was able to get a flash, but he flashed in to pick up a kill. 1 for 1. Both supports are gone, but now with a double kill for Debounair, he's looking fancy on the other side as RobbyBob getting a little bit of damage on a Deathwalker, but he is fine with this battle. He is waiting. He's got it. There it is. RobbyBob taken out of the equation. Same with Kitzuo about to fall. It's a Rapids killing spree that ends it all.
Oh my goodness. I was watching Debounair on the fight against both the bot laners. 1v2 just eats the entire culling and says, don't care, I'm killing you. Exactly what happens. And Debounair now 4-0 on this Akali. Akali's been one of the biggest beneficiaries of the new items with Storm Surge being so strong. You can just explode someone. You get Collector, basically. You get the extra 30 gold if you kill him within that 3-second time frame.
I think it's 2 seconds.
Debounair just goes in.
I think it's 2. Yeah, it's 2 seconds.
2.5. Oh, we split it there. Oh, it's 2 seconds. No, it's 2.5. Yeah, okay.
It's 2 seconds. It's 2 seconds.
Yeah, 2 seconds. There we go.
Look, I'm big brain magical over here, Mr. Adam. Don't you know that a broken clock is right twice a day?
Yeah, I think sorry.
Are you trying to think if a broken clock is right more than once a day?
I'm trying to update the other casters on the record.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. You do that.
Yeah, there we go.
I will continue to watch this right now. We are getting a pretty sizable lead here for Wang's Revenge. As Decoy finds himself in a bad position, is able to punt away the one that he feels is going to do the most damage, as the fear does come in from Rapid, but after seeing that people were mid lane, because the lights were only turned off for one side, they decide not to continue that play.
Yeah, and I think with this pressure now being exerted in the mid lane, this could mean trouble for BlackRock.
Waiting for the Emperor to survive, but they don't even use it. Instead, it's going to be the Breath of Life, and it breath no life into them, as Kitzuo will die too. The Rampage out of Rapid, the Culling not getting enough damage. It is a 3v5 now in the mid lane. Sure, there's some blinking health bars on the side of Wang's Revenge, but they are not that deterred from this play. They still can turn themselves to get that drag and get their second one of the game.
I think major... Ooh, nice hook.
But it was onto the tank. It's onto Poppy. That's the difficult one to actually take down, as RobbyBob never used the ult, so they could have always used that if they needed to, but they'll only just execute the kill while the dragon does finally fall slain by Wang's Revenge.
Yeah, it was a nice... It wasn't blind hook. It was a good hook, but nonetheless, onto the wrong member, as you said. I think the rest of the team just stepped up a little bit too far. Was able to give Agency a little bit of confidence. Debounair,
got to be careful, as Decoy could have continued that charge, but Debounair barely will dash out of that one. Well, because he had to dash so far out, it does mean another turret will fall, and that's going to be the big thing. Well, it's 11-3 in kills. The gold's about 1,500 separated between the two. There's so much power that is going to continue to build for BlackRock Esports just because they have all 6 scrubs.
Yeah, and that just means that if you win a fight, even if it's just a one-man advantage, you're able to push towers a little bit quicker. Rapid is going crazy.
Yeah, he is going crazy, and he's got kurulean here. He's got Deathwalker on the other side to pull back in to make sure that it's a 5th kill for this Nocturne. Kitzuo thought it was an honorable 1v1, but in reality, it never was.
Absolutely not, especially with the control that Wang's Revenge still has over this bot lane. I mean, it's 3-1-3 on Deathwalker, 4-0-1 on Debounair. This bot lane is just scary. This bot side of the map is scary to walk into. A lot of your control has still sort of remained around this top side, not just because you got those grubs, but also because that's where you put all your vision. That's where you've been able to set up your vision. You walk onto that bottom side, and it is trouble for you. As you mentioned, that gold lead is still not as big as we would expect for a 9-kill advantage, but I think a lot of that comes down to
kurulean. My goodness, some of these hooks, I swear.
Yeah,
it's like
you try to make a thought, it's like, no, kurulean's gonna hit a nice hook.
Well, it's like there's no reason to even throw out the hook. No one was there. No teammate was there to follow. So it could have actually been really bad had maybe like Pockus been there or Kitzuo been closer by, because they could have gone, oh wait, there's a support by himself. Let's go fight.
Yeah, granted, as mentioned earlier, you know, just having this bot lane advantage, you're able to keep that control around the map, and now they're trying to translate that up to the top side. Rift Herald seems to be the objective, and it's a 4v4. This could get spicy with a little bit of an engage.
Well, there are
it seems as if Kitzuo doesn't look to go in.
DPs for both RobbyBob and Debounair. When do they pop it? kurulean going to take a lot of the damage. Decoy getting the flash out of kurulean, and it's going to be the Rift Herald secured by BlackRock as the TP for RobbyBob punts in. No! BoilTheOil buffered that perfectly, so RobbyBob, he is the one that falls. And with the rest of the members ready, waiting, Debounair has shown up. They can dash back in. BoilTheOil looking to see if he can burn them down, but he'll be the first one to fall on his side in this fight. But they do trade it back. The Monkey King gone, dethroned. The dash in. Debounair looking clean as Pockus cannot make magic happen. It's Debounair who takes him.
Yeah, and it looked so good for BlackRock Esports. They find the Herald, they find the pick on a kurulean, but they bide their time. BoilTheOil is able to tank up enough damage, and despite Poppy having a great stop on the initial dash from Debounair, forcing the ground for a couple of seconds, still able to chase down Pockus at the end of it, turn that fight back in their advantage. You do lose Rift Herald once again, though, and Kitzuo has been very good about these objectives. Yes, it's 2 dragons given over to the side of Wang's Revenge, but you got 6 grubs, you got a Rift Herald, you still have that pushing power in the back pocket. Once again, all you need is 1 or 2 fight wins here, where you get a couple of members as the advantage. That can help you really use those grubs to the greatest efficiency. Efficacy? Yeah, efficacy.
Efficacy, efficiency, I think either or. But the problem is, like, yeah, the gold's not that far off. The objectives, not too bad here for BlackRock Esports. But we have to keep in mind that not only is the 15-5 kill difference, but where those kills are. 7-0 on Nocturne, 5-0 on Akali. The 2 that you really did not want those kills to go to, because now these assassins are snowballing. You have a level advantage for Rapid. Well, sure, RobbyBob at least has the experience lead over Debounair. That's still an Akali who has so much gold already on the 2-item spikes.
Yeah, and I think another major thing is, despite InoriB sort of getting stomped out in the early phases, still has an item advantage for now over Deathwalker by virtue, I think, of first strike gold. Yeah, potentially getting a couple more of those plates, but Debounair.
Oh no, RobbyBob. Missed that one, misjudged it with the soccer ball kick. Both of them just came up inches, barely not executing it properly, which means the kill did not land. They couldn't get the shutdown off the Debounair, and even though they do take down that turret in the bot lane, it was traded mid lane. There's going to be on this crash here onto the tier 2. They've got to at least get themselves that objective if they want to make this even, but with the dragon having spawned, they feel forced to call back.
Oh man, they're getting pinched in as well. Lights are out. Here they go. Nice hook.
Kurulean again onto InoriB. As InoriB barely surviving, they do trade it back. Somehow, this Lucian was surviving for way too long, but with Debounair dashing in with BoilTheOil, they turn it around. It's Kitzuo who will fall. Debonair's double kill. Decoy trying to be the decoy, but who's there? Who can do damage here for BlackRock? You can't do it with Emilio Poppy. The flash from Decoy will survive, but a 3-for-2 favoring that of Wang's Revenge. They can peel back for the dragon.
They lose a shutdown on Rapid, but they're able to keep Debonair alive. They're able to get Deathwalker a little bit more gold as well. Yes, it's going on to, I believe it was Kitzuo who picked that up.
Yes.
On the shutdown. So it's more gold going into the Wukong, but even still, this Wukong's pretty far behind Rapid nonetheless. It's basically a full item. I'd say like 3/4 of an item advantage still for Rapid. They're able to pick up a 3rd dragon for themselves, and now Wang's Revenge. I think they've found their revenge. They're looking to dominate at this point. Wang's Dominance should be what they call themselves for OQ2 if they keep this up.
Well, right there, getting themselves that 3rd dragon. And that one is so powerful. People don't realize just how much control it gives you over your competition, because now you can dictate where they have to answer you, where they have to play, because if you give up a soul for free without trading anything, makes it really difficult on how you can play around the Baron, how you can play around defending these side lanes, these pushes, because you have the grub advantage here for BlackRock, which is nice, but you have to be able to hit the turrets for it to actually matter. It's right there, denying the engage from Kitzuo, kurulean with these hooks.
Yeah, and I think kurulean has been low-key the MVP. Like, there's been some great performances from Rapid and Debonair, but a lot of these fights that shouldn't be even started, I want to say, by Wang's Revenge are able to get sparked by these hooks onto key members. Every single time, apart from that one onto Decoy that we saw, have been onto those key members, have been onto Inori or onto Robbie or onto Kitzuo. Kitzuo's not that tanky right now. No. You know, Sundered Sky doesn't give you all those tank stats that you expect. Yes, you've got a large health pool to get through, but Debonair's so fed, it doesn't matter.
No, not at all. I do like doing this, though, to just show everyone what some of the new items do.
Yes.
It's kind of nice that we could just... That's why I wanted to get the replay files, to get into the game so we can watch all these and see how it's going. But I think the big thing here is that we are, like I said, where the gold has really been allocated, right? I think Kitzuo being behind actually is not that bad, mostly because RobbyBob is still about even with Debounair. I think that's going to be the big thing. How can you play around some of these big ultimates, these big damage dealers like RobbyBob and even InoriB, who's staying even against Deathwalker in the items?
Yeah, and a major thing is the reason why they're keeping up is because they got those grubs. They got the Rift Herald as well. They have that 2-tower advantage, and that's making a difference for them at this point. It is what keeps them close in the game, and that gold, if we actually hover over the gold, we can see that it's keeping InoriB close. 900 gold down despite being, what, 5 deaths more. You haven't been on the map as much. RobbyBob's actually 1,000 gold ahead. Yeah. That's crazy.
That's
considering he's 1, 3, and 4, and Debounair's been having the time of his life.
Yep, it's RobbyBob just farming it up. Look at that. Look how much farm this Azir has. Well, yes, Debounair is doing a lot more on the map to try to answer, to try to get these plays to be the snowball factor for the team. RobbyBob is the consistency, the strength that they can rely on. This is something that he's done in UST. This is something that we saw in Supernova, and now we're seeing it here on BlackRock Esports.
Yeah, it's really scary to assume that Wang's Revenge has sort of this huge lead at this point. Because
well, they don't. It's 1,000 gold between the two teams. That's it.
It's more so in the game, they can't see this gold difference at the same time. They're going to see their kills and say, hey, we are probably pretty strong, but RobbyBob is so fed that you get one good Baron fight, and the experience, as you mentioned.
This is how I know you didn't play enough when Zizarot and Banner of Command were in the game.
Oh, God.
Because when I played back then, we would be like, the enemy would have 20 kills, yet we would still be winning the game. Because we wouldn't kill them. We'd just take the towers. Because we just everyone would build Zizarot. We'd all have Banner Command. We'd just go to a lane and we're like, we're taking this lane now. And that is one of the things like Grub kind of does, but it does have a little bit more proactivity. It forces you to be in the lane. Well, RobbyBob here, good punt back underneath the turret that he has shown up, as it is going to be Rapid trying to get the flash. But look at that, RobbyBob, the collegiate powerhouse, throwing it right back in the face of Wang's Revenge, showing who actually will get revenge. It will be St. Thomas's, as even with Debounair going golden, RobbyBob wants the kill credit and the shutdown gold.
Yeah, that's all you need right there. You get that 1,000 gold shutdown onto Debounair. You find the kill in a 1v2 effectively with Rapid. Wow, just incredible stuff from Robbie. And now you start to see the power of BlackRock Esports. Down but not out. Wang's Revenge is starting to become BlackRock's Revenge here, because they're starting to get themselves back in the driver's seat. Now with the gold advantage, over to the Baron they go, and Robbie has 3.5 items. This Baron will melt.
It is going down so quickly. Look at that, 50% already on it, and they barely just showed up. No answer will be there from Wang's Revenge. They only now spot what was happening, and with them now on full retreat saying, we got to get something, we got to get this dragon. Well, that's still another 15 seconds until it will spawn. The TPs are there. Wang's Revenge feel forced to make this play.
Granted, they are in very good position for this. Look at them. There's no vision in the river. Are they going to give up Soul and just push?
Let's see.
This is crazy, Gambit.
There's going to be the blue trinket, not spotting him out. They do get the vision right there into the pit. The Scryers bloom, but it's going to be the hook to land. Turning off the light, seeing if that night time will make it enough so they can get Kitzuo out. Kitzuo does not steal it away. Rapid secures it, but a lot of damage onto the other side as Rapid had to flash over the wall. With the soul secured, we'll have Wang's Revenge getting out of there.
They've got inside track on mid lane, though, so this is very likely tier 2, potentially tier 3 tower. No, the wave's gone, too.
No, the wave's crashing. Wave's right there.
There it is.
Barely will show up in the nick of time. I don't think they're going to get enough damage onto this inhibitor, unless, of course, it has been a delayed recall from Rapid and BoilTheOil. Here's going to be the Keeper's verdict. Who does it get rid of? Canceled instead. Looking to siege down the turret. The inhibitor turret will fall. The inhibitor might fall as well as Decoy gets pulled back in by Kurulean. But no fight is there. They're too threatened by all these mites.
Yeah, and despite Soul going over, it's, I dare say, a potential short-term win for BlackRock Esports. Of course, that's now just going to be supers flooding into the base. And
it is definitely a short-term victory. They get the gold lead, a pretty sizable one now. But it's, as you said, it's only short-term. If Wang's Revenge can delay this game enough, they can actually make it so that when fighting around the next Baron, they actually have more opportunities to actually battle back, because that Infernal Soul is going to do a lot of work for them in these fights, especially when you have 2 assassins.
Another thing to keep in mind with that is Elders now on the map, 36 seconds after Baron. So that means that, once again, 2 endgame objectives are going to be available.
This is not a worthwhile trade. You shouldn't be in the top lane there, because now you're already getting sieged down in the bot lane on this inhibitor turret. We saw that Kitzuo stole away the red buff, hook not landing, and these minion waves continue to crash in. That could be another turret falling.
And kurulean's taking a lot of damage as well. Can't quite be the frontliner they need. Kitzuo's
He's
going
gone!
in.
He just gets bursted down, not respecting the damage, and now with Debounair on the other side, the flash from in, decoy, make sure that Debounair is not looking flashy anymore, and without your assassin, one is gone, the lights already turned out, they're back on, they know what's happening, BlackRock Esports, they made the call, RobbyBob, you started it all, and now, with the change of corruption on to decoy, it does nothing to stop the game from being secured by BlackRock Esports.
What a turnaround from them. Their early game was atrocious, and somehow they're still able to bring it back nonetheless. Kitzuo says, I don't care about dragons. I don't care about bot lane. If you get the grub, you get the dub. 2 games in a row where you get 6 out of 6 and you win the game regardless. And the scoreboard doesn't tell the whole story. That's what we've got to say. RobbyBob, absolute masterclass on the Azir. 75% KP, most damage in the game by a long shot. Incredible stuff coming through from the side of BlackRock Esports.
Absolutely incredible. Definitely wild series of events, because you have to imagine for Wang's Revenge when they send both Debounair and they send Rapid to try to kill RobbyBob. Like, that's going to be an easy kill. We kill him, we turn, we get Baron, we end game. But RobbyBob outplays them both, gets the turnaround kill on Rapid, and then onto Debounair, so he gets a shutdown gold on that Azir so they can melt down the Baron, melt down the game, and get the 2-0 to move on in the round 3.